Good morning, Claudia.
Okay. This one belongs to a purple table. They're gonna finish coloring in your things first. It'll make you easier.
I'm going to mute you for now. Claudia, can you, or Ceci, can you hear me? Okay. Ceci, I found that document that I was looking for. I'll send it over to you today. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm just trying to find one thing before I start. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen okay? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get started because it's 9:16. I'm also recording this. This video is going to walk us through editing on the website. I want you to know that you can send me a chat or a question. Do you see where you can do that, Ceci? There's a little chat button. Okay. So feel free if you have a question at any time, just go ahead and just send a question through that little portal and I can answer it for you. Since you're the only one, feel free to tell me right now, like what did you have in mind? What are some questions that you have? Okay, so, okay. Hi, Lizette. Hold on, I'm gonna see if she's in yet. All right. So a couple things I just want to remind you of. If you need the support document, if you go to Central Services and down to Technology, and you go to Tutorials and FAQs, the very first thing at the top is this quick guide, and that's really what I'm going off of today. So I just have my copy right here. I gave this to all administrative assistants recently. I kind of zhuzhed it up and just changed a couple things, but this document is on the website right here. So that's kind of what I'm going from. I need to move this out of the way. Let's go over here. Okay. So when you log into your account, remember your account is your email address and your the last, well, mine is is my regular password that I use for everything, for email and everything like that. So then you should have, once you log in, you should have access to sort of this My Account up here at the top. And if I go to Site Manager, mine's going to look a little different, but I think I'm going to try and log in as Ceci so it looks a little more familiar. So give me just a second. I'm going to emulate. Okay. So this is Ceci's account, but this is what it'll typically look like. So if I go up here to Site Manager, just to kind of give you the lay of the land, you have these sort of pockets over here that are your pages. And so the lingo is kind of like there's content, which is the stuff that goes in the website. There's files that you would have on your desktop or your computer. There's links that you can add that take you directly to places. And there's also your Google folder, which you can access. So this part over here, this is the site, and these are channels. So our school, for parents and students, staff, and links, those are all channels. And if you look at the Bayside site, those are the things you're going to see right here. So our school, for parents, staff, and links. Mm-hmm. So that will be the same thing over here. Mm-hmm. So those are the channels. And then in each pocket there are the pages that go with it. So if I click on this, here's what's also in that link. So let's say for library, Ceci wants to add some content. So if I click on this one, these are all the pages that are listed on that website. So if I go back and I look at library, these are all these pages that she has over here. So all of that is content that she's built right over here. So let's say, so there's two ways to do this. If I wanted to add a page, I could add a page right here. If I wanted to organize these pages and rearrange them so they show up a little differently, I can click Organize Pages. And if I wanted to open one of these pages and see what's going on, let's say general information, what happens is this slide out comes out, and then you'll notice there's a pencil, and typically the pencil means you can edit there. There's also this list of apps over to the side over here. So if I need to move this out of the way again. So if I have something I wanted to add to this, I could do this. Typically, you're not going to add a ton of stuff. You're just kind of going in and changing some things. But if I wanted to, I could add some of these apps over here. So let's say for, I wanted to add these links, and she wanted to start collecting a batch of links. Or I could add a whole Google folder. Or if I wanted to add a staff directory on that page. Or if I wanted to start writing a blog, I could add a blog post on that page. So if you just wanted some blank content, you could just do this content. So I'm going to drag this one over here. See how it highlights it green around the edge? I'm going to drop it. Oops, see how that goes? See, I'm going to drop it below the general information, and you can see that green highlight around the edge, and I'm just going to drop it in there. And now it becomes this new app that you can go in and change. So up here at the top, it's got editing options, just like any other Word, Google Docs, whatever you're using as a text editor. You've got these options up here. They're a little bit different. They're not exactly the same. They're a little bit different. So this one I use a lot to clear formatting. This is if you want, in order to stay ADA compliant, it is really helpful to use formatting tools like this. So for title and subtitle. So if I wanted to say weekly news and I highlight this and I make this a title, it will format it so that somebody who is reading the website using adaptive tools for whatever their disability is, it will help them understand that that's a title. So if I wanted to do, there's also different styles, different kinds of headings. You can do all the same formatting bowls. You can change the text color if you want. It's important when you're thinking about colors to really think about your website, what the colors of your website are, and really kind of stick to a complementary template of colors. Then you have your alignment. This is if you're going to start adding HTML, which I don't, so I don't imagine that anybody else will. But if you want to, you can try that. And then some other tools that look familiar: cut, copy, paste, paste as text. Sometimes if you're pulling something in from another place, let's say I want to grab, I like what's on, say, Emory's page for library. I want to grab this and I want to copy it. I'm going to Control C and I'm going to come over here. Oops, I lost my page. Oh, over here. And I want to paste it. If I click on paste as text, and I hit paste, oh, doesn't like that. Okay, so forget that. So doesn't like that. But I can go in here and I can copy something in here, and then if I don't like the way this copied in here, I can actually use this clear formatting tool that will take off any formatting that it had and make it a little bit easier to work with. Sometimes that's helpful to when you pull it into a new place. Okay, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to take this out. And then you can see some other things over here. If I want some special characters, or if I want to insert an image. So if I want to insert an image, I can upload the image. If you've already uploaded an image and you want to reuse it on the website, you can choose this one. There's also a little bit of built-in clip art that you can use as well. I would say you want to stick to whatever the default is right here, or you can say no resizing, which would make it as big or as small as the picture is. So I would stick to some very simple, you know, I kind of like medium. Medium is a good size when you're talking about images. And I can look for an image. I know that I've got this lovely picture of Dr. McNamara. So I'm going to hit that up there. And the alternative text is also an ADA compliant thing. So it's also important to maybe put in there what that picture is of. Because again, if you have somebody looking at the website who is using accessibility tools, it's going to help them when they roll their mouse over that picture to really understand what that picture is of. You can try this, add, I don't know, 5 points of border, see what happens. You can always remove it. See how that puts a nice black border around that, just you know, because it looks a little bit framed. And then I can hit save. So you'll see that a window pops up at the bottom. It says your content is saved, but nothing happens here. So I can keep working on this, or I can move out of it. There's also another button up here that says app options. And it's good to kind of just know what's here. You don't really need to worry about sharing or social settings because you're not really doing any kinds of commenting on that page. And this is just for your information. If you wanted to rename this particular app, you can and call it Weekly Update. I just want you to know that it's there. And then this little purple X, if I close that, so now I've got my general information and my weekly news down here. If I go back to my page and I hit refresh, oops, nope, I go back to the page and I go back to the page we were on, sorry. And I go to library, and that was under general info, right? Yep. So now it's updated. You'll also see this button here that says edit the page. And now we can go back and I can trash this whole app right here if I want to, which I will because I know Ceci doesn't want that on her page. And that's all I have to do. So any of the like if you want to add just basic text, it's content. That's really what you want to live in. And you could add a links page if you're doing a bunch of different links like I know the librarians do. Or you can offer, you know, you can kind of create a file storage if you have files you want to put up there too. Okay. Helpful? Okay. The other thing that's kind of nice about this is you'll notice down the side right here, there's active. And if I hit one of these, let's say we don't do, for some reason we stopped using Epic. I know you haven't, but for now, we're just going to take a break from it. So if I click on that, now that page or that link becomes inactive. It's still there, and I can make it active again, but I can make it inactive. And this is kind of helpful when, you know, you've got time of year things. So let's say you want to like always put up the book fair notice, but you don't want to keep writing it over and over again. So you can go in there and make it active. And then once the book fair is over, make it inactive. You can always edit it and, you know, kind of make it new, but you can just turn it off when you don't really want it. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Questions so far? Lizette, I don't know if you can hear me. I hope you can. You're still there, which is good. If you have questions, there's a little chat place. Feel free to add a question, or you can just ask me. I didn't mute you, so you're fine. Okay. Lizette, can you hear me? Okay, sweet. I can hear you too. Did you have any questions?
No, it's just pretty interesting.
Okay. And I'm thinking about, like, I'm just gonna, while she's doing that, I'm gonna get out of emulation mode for her. Yours would be obviously the special ed. Let me find where I am. I need to change the site. So depending on how long you'll be there, under central services, yours will be special education. And the same thing kind of follows. They've got an inactive page right here, which is a link. This little blue arrow means that it's mapped to a web page. And there's other kinds of, you know, things that you can use there. Okay. So let's see. Thinking about a site, it's important that, I think we said, let me find, I think we said that it's important to kind of update your staff directory if you've got one. If I look at, this is the whole staff directory for the whole district. And I think what we've determined is the best thing to do is to just make them inactive so they don't show up on your screen. You can go in and edit them, and there's so many people here. You know, if I wanted to edit Martha and start adding her job title or even her department, if you've got people that you know are on your campus, you can go in and edit their department. So if I'm a parent, I would imagine coming to look at a school directory is a little daunting because they are, so if I look at Bayside's just as an example, when I'm going down this list, like, I don't know what her role is. I mean, I know as who I am, but as a parent, if I don't have a kindergartner, I wouldn't know. And so it might be helpful to go through and say, oh, Kevin Court, like, that's a biggie. He should probably have his name labeled as principal. Nadia as the school's, you know, administrative assistant, et cetera. So, you know, this is one of those, like, yeah, if we all had time, we'd do this. But as you're sort of, you know, I don't know, maybe do 5 a day or 6 a day or something like that, where you can go in and put that, or even better yet, show your staff how to do that so that they can go in and actually I was going to try and figure out if I can do that. So if I am going to, I'm just going to try and, I'm going to try something while we're sitting here. Oh, whoops, dummy. Lame-o. Okay, edit account settings. So if I look at my name, so I put that there. So I want to see if in here, nope. So it doesn't show up. I was hoping that if I put it on my account right here, it would show up on the staff directory. So that's interesting that that doesn't do that. So anyway, it's one of those things that if you've got a minute and you can do 5 at a time, that would be great. Okay, what other questions do you have? I have, any other thoughts, Ceci, that you're thinking about? Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to go back to you. Okay, so if I go to, get this, okay, out of the way. All right, so if I go to the link section, or let's go to the link section. Okay. So if we look at this page, it's specifically a links page. So you've got a couple of different apps going on right here, which is fine. And you can move them around however you want. You can adjust them however you want. So if there's something that you would like to change about this page, so I'm trying to think about this in a way you want to change. I'm going to unmute you unless you have kids in there. Oh, yeah. So the square for the art. Okay. So let's take a look. So let's go back over here to Bayside. Okay. So right now, you've got your links down here at the bottom, and you've got the content up here. That's interesting that it's, oh, so here's the link library down here. All right, so I want to see what this looks like. So if I click on this, there's nothing. If I click on this, there's nothing. These are just here as placeholders, right? The art and the picture, those are just there as placeholders. All of your links are down here at the bottom, right? So, okay. So this is, when we look at this, that's not what I want. When we look at this page, that's kind of how it's set up. So this is your site shortcuts, which I don't know if you have any, so we could trash that. These are just really here as images and placeholders, so you can move those around as you want. This you can even move up. If you would rather have it above here, it can be up here. You can edit these, and how that looks is it's just going to be a list like this, and it'll just keep adding to that list as you go down. And you can change the name of it. You can call it Bayside Links or whatever you want to call it. You shouldn't need to worry about sharing or social settings. So you can move any of this around that you don't want. So if you don't want the site shortcuts, you can trash it. If you don't want these images, you can move those around. You can even move this so it's kind of like, oh, it won't let you do. I was going to say like how this is, oops. And if you don't like something, there we go. So you can kind of adjust this as you like. Okay, so if I'm on here, right, and I go to school links and I go to Bayside, okay, so this looks like a different page. This is in the parents and students category under here. So it's a totally different page. This is your links, and this one is documents and links for parents. Okay, so now I can't get back there. That's interesting. Okay, so that may be something that we have to change on our side. So for this link, you want it so you want that link to go to this site. Okay, okay. So you can do a couple of things. You can go into this page and go to the links on the side. If you can't edit this page, I can give you access to edit this page. So if you, do you see on your page, if I'm looking at it, you should, because I'm playing you right now. So you should have access to edit this. So you can do one of two things. You can just take these links or these images, just click on the edit it and copy these to your other page. The other thing you can do, this is super fancy, that's where the sharing comes in. And I'd have to play around with it a little bit to see how you can share that, because you might even just be able to get this links page to come here instead of where it's going. Does that make sense? So if I click on links up here, instead of going to here, to this page, if you click up here, it'll go to that other page. Is that what you want? Okay, I can do that for you. Okay. All right, so we're about done for today. That's kind of all I had planned. If you want to come back and watch at 3 o'clock, you're welcome to join me for more fun. And I don't know, hopefully we'll have some more people. Otherwise, you know what? I like a small crowd. So thanks, ladies, for tuning in. Hope this worked for you. Bye. I'm going to stop the recording.